Zerzan face to face when we were in Footfall, I believe, and we were making and we were. It was just kind of a coincidence we bumped into him. That's when we first ran into him and his wife. We had our inkling, our psyker at the time when for something unfortunate happened to him, but our psyker at the time he detected something odd about her, and we were only able to confirm it later on. And as we didn't have evidence to really push forward with it, or enough reason to really bring it to your attention, we know you're all very busy. And they sent a couple they sent a couple spies to try and kill us, killed them. Um, we sent a bunch of rock ghouls to attack them. Nice little wordplay on my part there. Kind of just pretty much convinced them that this area wasn't worth attacking. Send them somewhere else entirely. To mess with them. They didn't like that very much. Tried to kill us again. Didn't work out very well. Clearly. You're noticing a pattern here. I intercepted all their codes and whatnot, and got some information on them, person to one of their officers. Fun little thing. Cut out some eyeballs. Did some brutalization and torture. Usual weekend stuff, pretty much. And blew up a bunch of his ships. Took some more of his ships because we could, and it was funny. And pretty much just going to ruin the shit out of him. That's pretty much it's the entirety of our interactions with them since we've departed on our voyage.
Okay. And you mentioned your previous psyker. Did you have much contact with him?
No, not really. He was very odd. He kept wanting to sing all the time. He put my pamphlets. He did the same thing, but for people to join his choir. We just kind of sent angry crew, disgruntled crewmen and whatnot. Anybody who was kind of being just kind of causing trouble. We sent them to join his choir to see him to shut up every once in a while. And then he kind of made all of our elite highly trained guardsmen explode. Is a thing, I think, I don't know what, what happens when you microwave a sausage too much and it just bursts like that. That's what happened. And yeah, we kind of kept him away from our dealings for a while after that, and then finally I wasn't there when it happened, but I'm pretty sure they just killed him. They got rid of him.
I'm more interested in the fact that none of you seemed to notice the fact that he was fallen to chaos.
I don't know if he was falling to chaos. He was just weird.
Yes, okay.
Yes, I know it's me saying this.
Yeah. Okay. Any other members of your crew you'd worry about?
I gotta worry about a lot of them, really. That's my job. Keep an eye on everybody.
I mean, of course, to worry about their souls.
Oh, I honestly think Orv is possessed by is there a demon of being a dick?
Several.
Okay. It's Cole McGrath. Cole. Okay. Well, he's definitely just possessed to be a dick. I think that's just how he is, though. But I do keep an eye on that. Anyway, but he's not here right now. But he's on notice. He's on notice.
Okay. One final thing. If you would like to place your hand into this box, she pushes a rather old and ornate-looking box towards you. It's got an obvious hole in the front for you to place your hand into. I would like to say, I phrased that as a question. It was not.
Yeah, okay. I got a lot of different things for this, and I'm trying to pick the right one. So I'm going to do it. Okay, I got it. Do not embrace fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is what destroys all men. Don't face fear. Fear is the mind killer.
Fear is a mind
Okay.
killer. Fear is a little death that brings total frustration. I will face my
Indeed.
fear. I will let it pass over and through me, watching its passage from my inner eye. When it's gone, only I will remain.
Yes, that. Wow.
Yeah.
That was
You're
the
big.
litany against fear. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was fantastic.
I have actually read that book like 13 times, so it's my favourite when I was
That
a
was
kid.
a litany of fear. I think there's like 5 of them.
Yeah, it varies different points in the bit. That's the one he's using for the Gonju bar, I think.
I was like, that's basically. I'm just gonna keep going. Like, she's the one that did the reference for like, oh, that is fantastic.
Yeah.
I just stick my hand in the box.
Right, roll me a D100.
Okay, D100. Da, 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 da.
You're okay.
You gotta
Thank you.
roll
You're not
underneath
so-
your corruption or something
Yeah,
like
so
that.
only 100 would be dangerous for you.
Yep. Okay. Well,
Okay.
you're not so bad. You're not so bad yourself there, Inky. Inky.
Oh, good.
What the hell's your name? What the hell's your name?
I'm the Inquisitor.
Yes.
That works.
His name.
Have you met enough Inquisitors that you need to differentiate between us? If so, you have led a much more interesting life than I thought.
Well, no, you're the right first I've met. So, and you get my references. So, I just want to know your name. But okay then. Okay then.
Yes, there are many things in this world you do not want to know. Just put that one as one of them.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Anyway,
All right,
ejected later.
bring in the robot.
I
Bring in
am
the
not-
service phone.
Indeed. Yo, 3PO, get your tin can ass in here.
I kick him in the shin.
Fuck.
What the fuck is a 3PO anyway?
Don't worry about it. Just get in there.
Yeah, I'm walking in there, and while I'm passing him, I smack him in the face with my medical mechadendrite.
Is that the one with the projector on it? Or
No, it's the one with the spikes on it.
Actually, it's the one with the bone saw.
still dripping with
You can
trust
attach
blood?
it to
It's not on, but yes, I'm smacking him in the face with it.
Right. So, yeah. She motions you to, well, not sit, because I'm not sure if you can actually physically sit.
Yes, I can. Though, generally speaking, my weight would crush most of the chairs, so no.
Yeah.
I just
You're a robot, you don't have
put
feelings.
my mechadendrite back and lean on it.
Okay. So, how much contact have you had with the demonic powers?
Let's see. There was that possessed sword that utterly failed to work on me at all.
Oh, I'm
Then
quite,
there was
I'm quite
that,
impressed that somebody such as you immediately recognises that they've not been touched by the ruined powers. That's always a good sign.
Then there was that the Chaos Space Marine that shot me in the face.
seem to
And
have gotten better.
a couple of demon hosts.
You're just so completely apathetic about the whole thing.
And, yes, and then there's the I think 2 demon hosts that I think one of them stabbed me in the chest, and the other one did absolutely nothing to me. I just no-selled everything.
Can't help but brag, can you? Ah,
This couldn't be bad at all. So, you've run into quite a few things, and quite a few things run into you.
And they usually did nothing.
fruitlessly.
So, you think yourself powerful,
No, I think I'm very well armored.
but you're not worried by them.
I wouldn't say that I'm not worried about them. I have a heavy respect for not getting shot in the face again. But aside from that, I've spent a lot of my effort in basically tanking myself up so that won't get hurt by them anymore. Getting shot by an Astartes bolter in the face really does hurt, by the way.
So, how close were you to your previous psyker?
Depends. Does kicking him in the shin a couple of times count?
Yeah.
I'm completely immune to most mental effects, so
Ah, you're very sure of yourself.
no, it's actually more of a mechanical augmentation that I have. It allows me. It's basically a secondary set of a dummy mind that I have that makes it so that any mental effects get to that thing, and
Oh,
it gets
shit.
purged eventually multiple times.
So there's two of you in there.
No, it's a dummy mind. It doesn't exist anything except that it puts a facsimile up.
Interesting. So, you were not worried about corruption?
I'm worried about it just as much as any other any other Magos would be. I've seen the dark and heretical methodology of technology. It does not appeal to me in any way.
So, were you...
Let's see how we can get this cybernetic crap to work on the crew. This is a good idea.
Shut up! You're not in here.
I know,
I'm
right?
sorry. Can someone move that crew to another room? Obviously, you can hear through the wall. If you want to beat on him a few times, feel free.
You
Just
can
don't
use
do
a
it.
thunder hammer to do so. I'd appreciate it.
No, he's sanctioned. We're not allowed to kill him.
Well,
Who's saying that you can't?
Unfortunately, it kind of cuts paperwork, and I have to
Oh
avoid
yes,
paperwork.
the demon, that one, the beast. I hate that paperwork. Yes, I have a lot of it due to my position on the ship as the main repair guy.
Okay. So the gravitational pull. Do you have any idea of what's causing it?
The main idea that I would have would be a station that is set up inside the ship graveyard. It would be the only thing that it would need to have multiple projectors on tertiary areas and secondary. The primary would be the most powerful one. If you could remove that, then it would eliminate most of the effects. The secondary and tertiary would maybe allow a path to go through.
How much more powerful was the field the second time around?
The first time, it was completely possible to go through without any real major hazards. It had the potential to destroy your ship, but proper navigation would allow you to evade most of the effects. The second time through, it would tear you apart. Doesn't matter how good you were.
So,
I show her a recording of the station getting torn to shreds.
Yeah. Very interesting. Okay. Next question, I wonder. Other crew members, any of them you think are more touched by chaos than others?
We generally shoot those that get touched by chaos like that, as our previous psyker could attest. Well, if he was still alive.
Yes, I am worried that you didn't notice that until so late.
He covers his eyes most of the time. He was soul-bound to the Emperor, so I wouldn't have expected it.
Unfortunately, not soul binding is not 100% effective.
Yep, apparently. That surprised me. Anyway, we shot that, and most of the choir that did exist left was also similarly shot for that.
That's a good start. Okay, finally, would you like to put your hand into this box for me?
What
The
is-
robot hands.
Yes. Just something that looks like a normal hand.
I don't think I have any of those.
Clearly, this
Uh,
test no longer works.
Okay, we're just going to shoot you as a heretic and be done with it. So,
I just put the end of my arm in there.
it must be really hard to hold a glass of water.
I've got plenty of gripping implements. They're just not hands. Anyway, I put the what used to be my normal arm into the end of the normal arm into there.
Yeah. What, make me a D100?
All right.
Yeah, okay, you're relatively uncorrupt. If you'd like to send the navigator in.
Oh, boy.
All right. Have a nice day, Inquisitor. And then I basically walk out of the room and tell Three Eyes to get in there.
I get very tempted to set him on fire, but I guess I should resist that.
You know that doesn't
work.
work on me.
Of course it does. Works on everyone. Anyhow, I enter the room, I suppose, and
If you'd like to take a seat, miss.
of course.
So, how the hell did you miss a corrupt psyker?
I'm not 100% sure. I guess I should have noticed when he just showed himself
Yes,
away.
you really should have.
He was mostly dealing with us through underlings for a lot of the time, so I didn't meet him.
This wasn't odd. Look,
Psychos
you're
are always odd. It's kind of their thing.
so,
But yes, I've been watching him more closely.
yes. I mean, one could draw the conclusion that you two are in cahoots. I mean, we know the navigators are much harder to corrupt than the normal psychers, but there's been cases of it happening.
I know, I've read a few. It's chilling stuff.
You've read a few. So,
They obscure some of the specifics, but we get a basic introduction to the ruinous powers, since they will be trying to lure ships astray through the warp.
So, sorry, your laughing is distracting. Okay. Next up is the number of, well, shall we call them warp storms that your logs report?
Oh, dear.
The warp is a tumultuous place, even in the best of times.
Yes, but seriously, it seems like every time you go into the warp, you encounter a warp storm.
It is most vexing, but this is far from the Imperium.
It's the same one.
The space out here is much rougher than
We named
what we
it.
used to through the Imperial sectors.
So, what
It's
are these?
part of the reason
What are
road
these
traders are
reported? Every time you have a word next to this warp storm. Why is that? Seems to be a name.
I'm not sure. I don't make a habit of naming warp entities.
These are your logs.
That is, it's less of a name, more of a curse. I mean, after encountering the same sort of phenomenon in the warp a bit more than you'd like, they tend to get a bit tedious.
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 On that, talking of other interesting phenomena, do you have any idea why a certain area of space navigators in there have reported a horrible laughing sound?
I do. And It was a particularly strong warp storm we hit there.
Really?
And inside it, there was a sort of, I guess in hindsight, it's probably just some sort of hallucination or demon world. I don't know really. I sent the logs through and then tried not to think of it since then. It went poorly.
Yes. I can guess. What about this reports of a raider ship that has been moving around in the area?
I can believe it because
It's interesting because we've had one or two survivors, and apparently the only real question the ship asked was where to find the Omnissiah's shield. And to be honest, the reports of this ship are quite chilling. Have you encountered a ship that has the forward power replaced with a laughing face?
It didn't at the time, but I can see it doing that. The world we encountered in the warp was completely full of psychers. At best guess, it was actually somehow encircled by the warp storm, and it had shut out the warp. And, well, they had a patrol cruiser in orbit, as any Imperial-founded world, or any world might. And, well, as I said, things went poorly. It turns out that our traversal through the shield punched a small hole in, and, well, our ship wasn't the only thing to come through.
So you basically unleashed some sort of demonic ship. And
we shot it a lot, but it just wouldn't explode. And then we ran.
That is the problem we've encountered as well. There's also the fact that navigators are getting lost in that region now. The laughing is apparently very distracting. You've kind of, if this is something to do with you, which it seems, you've kind of disrupted trade in a large portion of space.
It was certainly not our intent, I assure you.
No, I hope not.
I would rather never have encountered that world in the first place. Aside from my own logs, I suspect most of the rest of the crew have actually expunged it from their logs because, well, those who actually know what happened and weren't just shot on principle for safety purposes.
Anyway, you seem to be in contact with the warp a bit more than others, so I should really be more worried about you. But I shall, of course, administer the same test. If you would like to put your hand into this box.
Of course, of course. I put my hand into the horrible murder box.
Yeah, and roll a D100.
I should have actually rolled 2 because I should have run a paranoia check, but...
No, that's fine, that's 40. You haven't got 40 points of paranoia. So, excellent. You all seem to be fairly clean of a taint. Unfortunately, your actions have been a bit foolish in places. But, we can work together. I won't have to purify you anymore.
Always good to hear.
We shall run this test on some members of your crew as well.
Of course.
A random selection. We may burn the occasional one.
To be expected.
Yes, it's just
No worse than what we normally do.
Yeah, you have to make sure.
You have to be careful with these things. We've had enough experience with not being careful enough, and well, we know how that ends.
What the hell? Look at the Inquisitor.
Yeah, her skull's now got a hat. I try and style you, but apparently it's not enough. Next thing you're gonna meet is just gonna be a hat.
Fantastic.
I think it's Veloxol. Because Trust hasn't been here to do it. It's not me. McCarry's just noticed and started laughing.
Yeah.
It's actually been grey the whole time.
In the background. Yeah,
It's
you
actually
can watch
been
my
grey the whole
videos
time.
and see it's not me.
It was happening before Nick even joined us, though, so
Yeah,
it's
I think
obviously
it's several of you.
He's actually Tracy's got a second computer he does it on. He's got a secret.
I'll admit to the monocle, but I didn't do the rest.
I didn't even notice the monocle.
Moggle has one. Oh, yeah, it's too dark.
No, it looks like it's got a cord attached to it now.
It's really hard to see, but I'll take your word for it. Oh, hell yeah, the skull on her breastplate's got one now too.
Really?
Kidding.
She's slowly getting more and more hats.
That's fantastic.
Anyway.
Now her belt buckle needs one. Her
We're
belt
gonna hit
Her
in
sword.
so does
Tapception
the shoulder plate, and so does the knee
knee
guard.
Anyway,
Knee guard.
let's get on topic. Whoever's drawing the hats can draw the hats while we're busy doing actual stuff.
soon. Yeah, so she basically draws you together.
Ah,
So, I hope this is a lesson to you to be a bit more careful in the future. The next Inquisitor you meet might not be as forgiving as I am. So,
No offense, but I hope there is no next Inquisitor I meet.
no offense taken. I really hope that you never have to meet another Inquisitor. So, we have one major problem to deal with, I can see. And that is this shield or gravity well that is causing serious problems around the world. We need to take that down, and then we need to launch a strike on the enemy ships. Unfortunately, there is no real way of telling from your sensors whether or not this is a warp entity or a physical engine. If it's warp powered, we have very little we can do apart from throw ship after it, and that would get very expensive quickly. We have a much better chance of engaging those ships in combat than we have breaking through. On the other hand, if it's technological, then we may have something of a chance if you are willing to take a risk.
We're not exactly the rogue traders, so
Well, I
Trust
think
is
we can
acting
speak for
right
that.
now, isn't he?
Yeah, trust is essential.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's-
okay. So
he's-
basically,
he's the
what?
so anything that goes wrong is on your head.
Oh,
That's
great!
Next week,
Fantastic.
Goatface can have a set to if he doesn't like your choice.
Okay, well, I guess I don't have much option here. Guess we gotta do this. Do what we gotta do.
So,
As upstanding members of the Imperium.
yes.
Indeed.
I would like to draw your attention to the map. So,
What map?
she kind of unscrolls a rather old map of the Imperium. Just go to your map. Are we boring you?
No, and just in general, I do that. I've been awake for a long time, personally.
Hopefully not 5,000 years, but...
Yeah.
So, if you would like to draw your attention to the world known as Bastion.
Uh-oh. Did we actually get our maps up?
Oh. Knew there was something we not.
Bastion. That's right underneath Terra
That's-
Nova, right?
Yep, the one marked with the cross of the Forbidden World.
Whew. Do.
So, this world has been marked as forbidden. Unfortunately, it was at one point a secret weapons lab, would be the best way of describing it. They were
That's got
doing-
my interest.
They were doing research into all sorts of, new technologies. This is, thousands, if not tens of thousands of years ago. We're not
Ooh.
entirely sure when. Unfortunately, something went wrong, and pretty much every human on the planet was killed. Since then, it has been sealed by, well, not by my order, but, one of my, sister orders. However, I think there may well be something on that planet that is of use. I would like you to go there and find it. Unfortunately, I cannot just write you access to a forbidden world. So, not getting caught would be a very good idea.
Oh, lovely. Well, that's we're good at that. We normally are very quiet when we go into places and God,
You can't even finish
We
a
are
sentence, can you? Couldn't finish that with a straight face.
no, I couldn't. It's not even funny because
I-
this means because the end result's gonna be playing a joke on me.
I'm just going to say one thing is that I thought that all Forbidden Worlds had like sensors and warnings and things like that. That if you did go there, there's like a fleet on hand that would basically blow the hell out of you. It doesn't matter how good you were.
Not so much how good you were, but yes, there will be a fleet nearby, but where our forces are spread thin. So, it won't be more than
And
5
she's
or 6
admitting
ships.
to that.
It's the Imperium, our forces are always spread thin. Bastion has not been of interest to anyone for a while. I'm fairly certain the ships will be called away on another, urgent mission for a time, relatively soon. You will still have
Nudge,
to deal
nudge,
with...
wink, wink.
Yeah.
And the sensors.
I cannot do anything about them. You will have to find some way of deactivating them.
Roll tech use.
What was that, sorry?
Sorry, just a joke.
Then you'll
The-
have to get down onto the planet quickly, as quietly as possible. Search it for whatever you can find to break the gravitational field. I'll be able to provide you with a few locations. And then return quietly and hopefully undetected back to me. From there, we'll be able to plan an attack on the enemy world and hopefully destroy that gravitational field. I will admit this has got some serious risks. Getting caught would not be good for you.